Welcome to DeFi Crypto today. Our topic today is the Wonderland roller coaster. So let's have a look at this. And this is actually called Wonderland. It's in Canada. There's an amusement park called Canada's Wonderland. I think it's a good allegory for what's happening in the crypto market these days, and especially what happened to Olympus Ohm token and the Wonderland time token. So it looks all nice and sweet when it's going up like this, right? But people forget that if it goes up, it can go down. And then it looks a little bit like this, right? Wow. Okay. Are we having fun yet? Oh, and oh, look, it twists and turns and it's going to go up and down. And okay, wake up, okay? This is the real world. The crypto market is exactly like this. It goes up, it goes down, it twists, it turns. You're going to lose your lunch at some point if you don't have nerves of steel and if you don't know how to manage your risk. Okay, so enough about this before I get a headache. Look, crypto is risky. How many times do I have to say that? The very first Wonderland video I made, it says very risky in the title. Go check. Very risky. In almost all my videos, I say the price fluctuations for Wonderland go up and down like 70%. Yep, I said that many times. And when we did the time to be your own bank videos and we went to Abracadabra and I showed you how you can use wrap memo as collateral, and then they allow you to borrow up to 70%. I said, don't do that. It's very dangerous. You can lose all your money. Of course, that's what people would do. I say, if I were to borrow, I would stay in the safe zone around 25% or even less, maybe 10%. Why? Because I know that these tokens can shoot up and down 70% or more. Okay, so if you're at 70% debt, you're wiped out. Okay, you have to learn the game. The game has rules, okay? The game has rules. And if you don't learn the rules of the game, you're gonna burn your little fingers. Okay? When I tell you, don't put your hand there, it's hot. Well, don't put your hand there. Okay? A lot of people got their fingers burned yesterday because there was like a domino effect. Okay? Whales love to play games on people. Okay? Whales have been playing the game with Olympus and Wonderland and other places, okay? And what they like to do is push the domino. And then they look at what happens, okay? And they see a lot of people are getting liquidated, and they love this because they can get liquidation fees. And it's not just on Abracadabra, it's on several markets, including Rare Fuse and many other places, okay? There are lots of places where you can get Olympus Ohm liquidated and so on, and collect liquidation fees. And of course, you know what they want to do? They want to push it as far down as possible so that it can scoop it up when it's dirt cheap. All right? That's what's been happening, okay? Cascading liquidations, okay? It was like a domino effect, okay? More and more dominoes were getting wrecked Okay, more and more people got liquidated faster and faster and faster and faster. At some point, you just couldn't do anything on Abracadabra or even Rare Fuse. I couldn't even get the Rare Fuse to display on my screen yesterday. Okay, as this was happening. All right, so it's all over the place. All right, now you got to understand this chart. This is current, okay? It was 8 hours ago. This is the Fear and Greed Index. It measures fear and greed in the crypto market, especially Bitcoin. Right now, we're at extreme fear. It's at number 24. Down here would be 0, okay? It almost never goes down all the way to 0. But when it says extreme fear, believe it. It's extreme. People are scared of their own shadows right now. So if anybody says, oh, Olympus is shit, Wonderland is crap, well, they're going to believe it because they're in fear. They live in fear right now. So they're going to dump their tokens. And when they dump their tokens, because they hear some FUD somewhere, okay, like whales are very smart, okay? They can arrange for a lot of people, they pay people, okay, to spread shit and spread FUD. Okay, they fertilize the ground with manure, real thick. Okay, so they go on Discord, they go on Telegram, and so on. They say, "Oh, this project is crap. Okay, I'm gonna sell my tokens because I'm losing money." That's what they do. They have these campaigns. Understand this. As much as you have campaigns, from time to time I get sponsored. I've never been sponsored by Wonderland or Olympus or anything like that. I will probably never be as well. And I don't care. I like to talk about Wonderland and Olympus. But as much as you have people paying to promote protocols, you have people that are paying to spread FUD about protocols. Okay, and that's what they do. They like when people have a lot of fear because they're easy to manipulate. Okay, and when they smell that there's enough fear in the air, that's when they act, and that's what they've been doing yesterday. Okay, they've been pushing dominoes. Okay, and they're looking it down and say, "Oh, look at those idiots getting liquidated." All right. As you can see on the market, this is Olympus Home. Okay, this is the last year. It's not the first time that Home has been crashing. It crashed right here in May and in August as well. Okay, and now it's really low. It's its lowest ever. Okay, so if you like Olympus Home, best time ever to buy this thing. Yeah, this is something I need to tell you also. How useful is this thing? It's actually quite useful. When you see extreme fear, okay, if there's a project you like, then that's probably a good time to buy here, because when the dial goes in the green over here and you get extreme greed, that's the time to sell. So if you want an easy buy low, sell high indicator, there's one. Okay, now of course it's not guaranteed to work every single time, but it's a pretty good indicator that, okay, when you're in a bear market with a ton of fear, okay, yeah, look around and shop, okay, do your research, as we keep saying, and see what's cheap right now and what has a good chance of gaining in value over time. Okay, so you do your shopping around here and you sell around here. Don't wait until it's way down there. It never gets there. So you go around this area and you sell around this area. Okay, so if you were to play on Bitcoin, this is mostly for Bitcoin itself. Okay, you buy here and you're going to sell over there if you're a trader. Okay, or you just buy here and you hold it. Okay, and if you need liquidity, well, there are lots of liquidity facilities out there where you can borrow against your Bitcoin, as we explained in Time to Be Your Own Bank series. All right, so right now, I love this price. Okay, it's like what, 100 some dollars right now. What's the price at the moment? 119. What is it? 115. Hasn't been cheap like that ever. It's probably near the bottom. I mean, it could go further down. It could go down to $50, $30, $20 maybe. Okay, depends how much fear people have. But right now it looks pretty good. Okay, and again, don't put all your money on this. We're going to talk about managing risk. Okay, a lot of people still don't understand what that means. I'm hoping that after getting burned yesterday, they're going to understand a little bit more. All right, so if we look at Wonderland, let's look at a year. Well, that's a market cap. Let's look at the market, the price. Okay, so there was a big crash around here, and now it's like crashing further. Okay, Wonderland is a lot younger than Olympus. It started in September. Okay, so there's been some mini crashes here and there, a pretty big one around here, and we had yesterday's crash as well. So I guess if people don't have a lot of experience, that's their first and only token that they bought, yeah, they probably feel pretty bad right now. But again, it's like I kept saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put too much into a single project. Why? Because that's very risky. Even if it's a great project, I think Wonderland is a great project. It makes money hand over fist. Doesn't look like it when you look at the chart. And why the hell are you looking at the chart? You're supposed to be staking. Okay? We're going to talk a little bit about that. All right. So let's look at risk management basics. Okay? I'm not keeping it very complicated. This is like, if you can understand just this single page there, and if you apply this, you're going to be fine. It's really not complicated. It's very easy to implement. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't do that. So let's go through it. So there are two main things, okay, that if you applied these principles, you would have avoided losing all your money yesterday. So the first thing that everybody, absolutely everybody should do is diversify your portfolio. What does that mean? Well, you don't put 80% in one single asset, especially a risky asset like Wonderland. I know people that invested 70% and 80% of their entire portfolio on Wonderland. Well, obviously they're crying right now, okay, and they're feeling depressed and they need Xanax and probably counseling to because they're probably depressed like hell. But this could have been easily been avoided. These are very simple rules, okay? You don't put all your eggs in the same basket. Why? What if you drop the basket on the floor and all your eggs are broken? Well, that's what happens, right? The market can do that to you. The market, you have to understand, okay? The market has no emotion. The market goes up and down according to people's emotions, but the market by itself has no heart, okay? The market is like, it's a little bit like nature, okay? Sometimes it's going to be super hot, okay, and the crops are going to die because they're going to burn in the sun. And sometimes, well, you're going to have a flood and then everything goes, your house it goes down the river and everything. So, you cannot control this. You can manage the risk, no? Do you have to put your house that close to the river? I mean, there are things that can be done, okay? You can build yourself a house that's, flood-proof, okay? You can, there are ways to arrange things. And that's what we're showing you here for portfolios, okay? Nature is cold-hearted. The market is cold-hearted because it's human nature as well, Okay, it's the results of people's influences on the market. Okay, on the prices. Okay, people have fear right now, so they're absolutely not logical. Okay, they're dumping great assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Luna and Wonderland and whatnot. Okay, even if it makes no sense. Okay, that's because of fear. Okay, there's a lot of fear in the market right now. And the other way is the same. When there's a ton of greed, people have no common sense. They're going to put all their eggs in one basket. They're going to say, "Oh, this project Wonderland looks fantastic. I'm mortgaging my house, selling my car, and I'm putting all my money on it." And next thing they know, 3 months later, it's crashing. Don't do that. Okay? So, what do I recommend? I recommend you have a solid base of stable coins earning interest. You don't want your assets to just sit there, do nothing. Okay? If you download my book, okay, I talk about this already. It's in the book. It's free. Download it. Okay? In it, I put over 50% of the portfolio, my recommended portfolio, in stable coins. Okay? And I deposit them and earn interest. Places that you can do that, there's several. Right now, Anchor gives you 19.5%. That's pretty amazing on stable coins. You can get pretty close to that on Balancer as well. You have like little portfolios of stable coins. You've got 3 or 4 different stable coins put together, and they earn you 16, 17, 18% depending on the day. All right? And you got Yearn. I showed you Yearn recently. On some stable coins, you can get 20 to 30%. Of course, the rates fluctuate. It's a free market. Nothing is stable. Okay? Nothing stays the same. And again, don't put all your stable coins only on Anchor. What if Anchor gets hacked tomorrow? And that's why I'm showing you 3 different places. But depending on the size of your portfolio, of course, if you only have $100, okay, all right, Anchor is good enough. Okay, but if you got millions or hundreds of thousands, don't put all your money on a single project. There's always a risk. Manage your risk. Okay? All right. And on Anchor and some other projects, you can buy even insurance if you've got a lot of money invested. Okay? Then you might consider buying insurance. Watch the insurance video I made. Why do you think I made these videos? Okay? There's some important information in them. Okay? That's why I made them. Okay, do not invest more than 1% to 5% in a single risky portfolio. Okay, so you've got a big base of stable coin. You know, I think, especially in a crazy market like right now, around 50% of your asset, of your portfolio should be in things that are very low risk, okay, like stable coins, and there are other assets that are also in that category, okay? And then you have projects that are very risky. How we know it's very risky? Well, we look at the chart. Okay, does that look stable to you? No. It can go up 10 times and go down, 90%. That's not stable. Okay? That's very risky. Look at the charts over a long period of time, like at least a year or 6 months, depending on how old the project is. And the younger the project is, the riskier it is. This project is almost a year old now. Okay? And look at the fluctuation on this thing. Okay? So don't put more than 1 to 5% of your portfolio on Olympus home. Same thing with Wonderland. You see, does that look stable to you? It doesn't look stable to me. And when the price was sort of going up more or less all the time, people said, when you talk about price fluctuation of 70% down, I haven't seen that yet. Well, you see it now? What do you think I tell you that in advance? Because I know it's going to happen at some point. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen at some point. Why? Because people are crazy. Okay? When there's a lot of fear, they do stupid things like sell good assets for no reason except fear. All right. Never invest money you need for living. Don't put your rent money in there. Don't put the money that you need to pay your mortgage with in there. Okay? Don't put money that is going to land you in divorce court in there. Okay? Don't mortgage your house to put that in there. No. Okay? Invest what you can afford to lose. That's the next one here. When you put money in risky assets like Olympus, Wonderland, and any of these new projects that come up every single day, tiny amounts of money. Put $50 in there, $100 in there, tiny amounts. That's what I mean. I mean, yesterday I saw a guy complaining to Daniele, hey, I lost 100,000 on Abracadabra when I got liquidated. 100,000. Okay. Do you have a $10 million portfolio, or your portfolio is 100,000? Okay. If you have a $10 million portfolio, 100,000 is nothing. You don't care. But the way that the guy was writing his tweet, I think he cared. So I get the feeling 100,000 was a lot of money for him. Okay. And maybe that was his entire portfolio, because he said he's got nothing left, he said. So do you think this guy understands this part here of diversifying your portfolio? Do you think he understands that? I don't think he understands it. Okay? I don't think he understands at all. He needs to learn this. I'm really hoping that by getting burned yesterday, he would learn this. I don't know if he will. I hope so. All right, now let's look at borrowings. Okay? We talked a lot about that in the Time to Be Your Own Bank series and many other videos where you can do leverage. Leverage can be a very good thing, but you have to manage it. It doesn't manage itself. It's a little bit like, you have a house and you have a fireplace and you put wood in there and everything. Okay? And you start a fire. It's nice, it's pretty, it warms you up in winter, whatnot. Okay? Now, are you going to put flammable objects near the fireplace? Right? Are you going to put a tank of gasoline right next to it? Are you going to do that? Well, some people, the way they borrow and they leverage, they're doing the equivalent of putting a tank of gasoline right next to a fireplace. They're just waiting for a disaster to happen. Why do you think in most of my videos I say borrow a small percentage of your collateral? A small one. Stay in the safe zone. On most protocols, they show you from green to red. Okay, they estimate that if you're in the green zone, you're going to be okay, even if the market's wild. And in the red zone, they estimate that you're going to get burned when the market's wild. Okay? Why do you think I keep saying stay over there in the green zone? Why? Why do you think I bothered telling you that? Because crazy things can happen, like it did yesterday. All right? All these problems, okay, all these people getting liquidated and losing a fortune could have been prevented very easily. Okay? People have to take responsibilities for their actions. If I borrow and I get liquidated, well, that's because I borrowed too much. Or I did not manage my position every day. to check if my collateral went down too much and my loan went up too much. Okay, then I got liquidated. I mean, the market's been down for weeks. What did you do? You didn't check your collateral? Okay, your collateral was always in the green zone except yesterday. Come on, that's not possible. Okay, market's been going down for several weeks, so you have to manage your loan. Either you pay back your loan or part of your loan, okay, to re-equilibrate things, okay, rebalance things, okay, or you add more collateral, or you pay off everything and you take your position out. You close your position. There's several ways to do this. And now, if you're telling me, well, I don't have enough money to pay back the loan, well, you're over leveraged. That's what that means. You borrowed too much, and I don't know what you did with the money. Maybe you spent it, okay? But now you're in trouble. And whose fault is that? Your own fault. You took too much risks. You didn't plan ahead that a terrible event can happen. And it did. And it's not that difficult to anticipate. I keep telling you, and if you look at the charts, you should know that it's possible. Okay? If you've been in crypto for a while, even 6 months or less, you should know that things go up and down, not just up. Never borrow near the liquidation threshold. The system allows you to borrow a lot. Do you really have to put the gasoline tank next to the fireplace when it's lit? Do you really have to? I mean, some people like risk, and it's fine, but you have to live with the consequences. If you borrow the maximum and you get liquidated in the next hour because the market suddenly went down, well, whose fault is it? Yours. It's your darn fault. Okay? Not Abracadabra's fault, not Wonderland's fault, not Olympus Dow's fault. It's you. Okay? If you cross the road blindfolded when there's a lot of traffic and you get hit by a truck, whose fault is it? The truck? The road? The birds? It's your fault. You're putting your life at risk. Same thing here. You're putting investments at risk. Manage your risk. You can make money with low risk or high risk, but you still have to manage your risk. Okay? You still have to manage your risk. You have to plan ahead. You have to think, okay, what if the worst happens? Then what? Right? So, that's why you start by diversifying. Okay? You don't put all your money on a single project. Okay? And then you don't borrow the maximum on that project that you invested all your money in. Okay? If you do that, it's double whammy. You get slapped in the face twice. Okay? Because you lost all your money and you lost it even faster because you put yourself at even greater risk, okay, of liquidation. Okay? Look at what you're doing and understand what you're doing. If you don't understand what you're doing, don't do it. Or, to learn how to do something, use really small amounts. You know, when I do my videos, many times, it's the first time I'm using the protocol. And I'm going to use small amounts of money. I'm going to put $100, $200, something like that. Okay? Just to test that the thing is not going to explode in my face. Okay? And that I understand how the protocol works. Because each one's a little bit different. All right. So do the same thing. If you don't know how to use the protocol, well, don't put 100 grand in there and lose it in 10 minutes. Okay. Put a small amount. Put like, I don't know, $50. Learn how the system works. And then when you understand all the steps and the process and everything that you can do with it, how do I deposit money? How do I borrow money? How do I repay back the loan? How do I take out my collateral? If you make a mistake and you get liquidated while you're doing this, well, you only lost $50. You're not going to die. Okay? If you make a mistake on 100 grand, well, you lost 100 grand. Right? So use logic, plan ahead, and say, okay, I'm not quite sure how this thing works. Okay, well, let's try with a small amount of money. That's a logical way to do it. Okay? That's how I do it. That's how I learn how these things work. What do you think? I don't have a direct line to Daniele and say, Daniele, which button do I need to press right now? Come on. Learn how the things are working. Okay? I mean, I don't understand why some people still don't know how to stake. There's documentation available. There's a gazillion videos on YouTube about Wonderland and how to stake freaking tokens now. I made so many myself. It's really not hard to find information, but maybe you need to be a little bit less lazy, okay? And type the few words, Wonderland time staking. I know it's so many letters. Oof, it's a lot of work, but that's how you're going to learn, right? Wake up. All right. If the collateral gets too low, pay back some or all of your debt. Or add more collateral. Okay, you have to do this. This is called management. You manage your leverage. You manage your borrowings. Okay? You manage your positions. So, if you borrow a large percentage, let's say you're at 70%, well, you should manage this super close every few hours. You should check, okay, that the market is not tanking on you and that you're not going to get liquidated. On the other hand, if you borrowed a tiny amount, a tiny percentage, and you're in the safe zone, well, casually check every day that you're always in the safe zone. Because if the price tanks quite a bit, well, you might go from safe zone to orange, the green zone, the safe zone, to the orange zone. Okay? And if you stay there and you don't fix it, what's going to happen, you think? Well, if the market tanks further, you're going to be in the red zone. And if the market tanks further, you're in the dark zone. Okay? You get liquidated. All right? So you have to manage that. Okay? It doesn't stay green forever without you managing it. Okay? If the market's going up, okay, you're cool. But for the last several weeks, the market's been tanking left and right and so on. You have to look at your position a lot more carefully. Okay? Pay back some of the debt or all of it if you say, oh, this market's too crazy for me. I'm just paying everything out. Then you take your collateral out. Now you can sleep at night. Okay? But you have to manage the stuff. It doesn't manage itself. Okay? It's not programmed for that. Now, the next point here, there's so many people that get confused about this. I don't know why it's confusing. But if you go on in Wonderland, okay, on Olympus now in Wonderland, they have the backing per token. Okay? And for some strange reason, some people think that the backing per token is going to protect them against liquidation at Abracadabra or Rary or wherever. And I'm like, what planet are you from? This is not Mercury or Mars, okay, or Pluto here. On Earth, okay, net asset value. You know, one thing I think is wrong is that backing is a misnomer. It should be called net asset value per token, okay, because that's what it is. You take the treasury, you divide it by the number of tokens, and you have a value. That's how much money your token has in the treasury. Okay? That's the net asset value per token. It's the same concept with stocks. If you take Apple or Tesla shares, okay, you take all the assets, you subtract all the debt, and you have the net assets. And then you take the net assets, it's called the equity. You take the equity, you divide that by the number of shares, and you have a net asset value per share. It's the same, exact same concept here. Okay? So, let's say I speculate on Apple shares, and I buy Apple options, okay, and I'm using leverage, okay, and the price goes against me, against my position in options, okay? So I'm going to lose what I put in. I'm going to lose my collateral. Do you think Tim Cook is going to pay me back? You know, because the price, let's say the price goes down below the net asset value of Apple shares. Do you really think so? You really think that Tim Cook on this planet is going to actually give you money back because you lost it, because you speculated and you had too much leverage? In what freaking world are you living? What kind of dream world is that? Tim Cook is not your grandma, okay? Same thing at Wonderland and Abracadabra. Danielle is not your grandma, okay? They're not going to pay you back for that. That's a ridiculous idea, okay? You are responsible for your actions. You borrow too much. You have to pay when it gets liquidated. Okay? Grow up. Learn how the game is played. Okay? There are rules in this game. Okay? You don't play by the rules, you get your little fingers burned. You take too much risk. You take too much leverage. You don't manage your leverage and your diversification properly, you're going to get burned at some point or another. And that's what happened to a lot of people yesterday. Okay? And hopefully they're going to learn the game. Sometimes it takes a hard lesson to learn the game, but you should try to learn the game before you play with money so much. That's why I'm doing all these videos, okay? I'm trying to prevent this from happening. Unfortunately, I cannot reach everybody. There's no dream world where this happens, okay? But if you watch my videos on a regular basis, you should know this. Okay, you should definitely know this. And if you don't, go back and watch the videos again, okay? Because in every single video, I talk about the risk. How many other YouTubers talk about the risks? Okay, how many YouTubers tell you, okay, this is very risky, this thing can break here, this other problem can happen there, these guys are not audited, they can take your money, they don't have a multi-sig, da. I tell you all the risk in advance, okay? And still, I've got people aping in and putting, oh, I'm going to mortgage my house and put $80,000 on this thing. Okay, you're free to do whatever stupid thing you want to do. But if you don't want to get burned, follow these rules. They're very easy. Okay? Anybody can do this. Okay? All right. Let's have a quick look here since we talked about managing our assets. Okay? So, we're on AVAX. And we've got the wrap memo. By the way, there's a lot of memos available for borrowing right now. Why? Because a lot of people got liquidated. Okay, so that's where the money comes from. It's from all those people that got liquidated. Right now, there's at least $41 million that were borrowed yesterday, okay, that got liquidated. Okay, and that's why it's available right now. For some reason, nobody wants to borrow when it's almost like it's very unlikely that the wrap memo price is going to tank much further. Okay, so if you've got wrap memo right now and you want to use leverage, and we're going to have a quick look at it, you could go in the safe zone. Okay. Not borrow here. I explained this so many times. You know, when you borrow here and the price drops just a little bit, you can get yourself in the liquidation zone. Even here, it's quite risky. This is a 50% drop. We've seen 50% drops already. Okay? Around here, it's less risky. It's possible to have a 70% drop in a single day. It's possible, but it's less likely than a 30% drop or a 50% drop. And if you're really risk averse, but you still want to use this strategy, well, go down to, I don't know, 10%. At 10%, you would have to drop 90% in a single day before you get wrecked. Now, let's say that you do 25%. Today, it looks great. But let's say, because there's still so much fear in the market, and there's still a ton of FUD out there about Wonderland, Olympus, Dow, and everything. Okay, let's say it keeps on falling. Well, what's going to happen? Because your collateral that's deposited here, and then here you have your collateral value right here. If this value drops, well, it's going to go from green to orange. And if it keeps on dropping, it's going to go to red. So what you should do is before it gets to red, when it's in the orange zone, okay, you go here and you hit repay. Okay, and that's when you pay back some of the loan that you borrowed, or you add more collateral. Okay, either way, you're going to be able to bring yourself back in the green zone. That's not so hard to do. It takes a few minutes of your time. Okay? So, if you have a position, okay, on a leverage market like this one, check your positions on a daily basis. Because, why? Because right now the market keeps on tanking, and there's too much fear. So you have a greater chance of getting liquidated when this happens. Okay? Now look at all the items here. You have collateral deposited, collateral value, your position APY, the MIMS that you borrowed, so that's your debt, okay? It includes the fees and everything. Okay, so if you borrowed $50, well, on top of that, it's got the borrowing fee of 0.5% plus the interest of, the borrowing fee is 1%, sorry, and the interest is 5%. So all those fees are put here. And then you have your wrap memo liquidation price. So it tells you at what price you're going to get liquidated today if the price drops to that level. Then you have the memo liquidation price. So either way, they work. So you go on the Wonderland website, they're going to publish both of them. It's going to tell you how much it is. And you have the information here as well. So you don't need to go anywhere. And then you have the left to borrow. This is very dangerous. Okay? Because if the market has a lot of fear, like right now, and you say, oh, I'm going to borrow a little bit more, well, what's going to happen? You're going to get in the orange zone and then eventually in the red zone. Okay? So be careful with this line. Try to keep yourself in the safe zone. Now here you have the prices. One memo is in US dollars, and then in rep memo, and then how much a rep memo is in MIM. Okay? All right. So you see the backing per token anywhere on this? No. Why? It's irrelevant. It's not in the calculations anywhere. Okay, the backing per token. Remember I said it's a misnomer. It should be the net asset value per token. You see that anywhere here? No. So when you have people saying, oh, I got liquidated below the backing price. So what? So what? The hell do you want me to do about it? That's normal. If the stock market tanks right now, okay, and Apple or Tesla shares drop, I don't know, 50% or more, okay, and the price of the shares is below the net asset value of those companies, there's nothing you can do about that. It's just supply and demand, figuring out the price, okay? If, Tesla has bad news, okay, a factory exploded or something, the price is going to tank. And if people are really, really, really fearful, like they are in the crypto market, it's quite possible that it's going to go below its net asset value. First of all, Tesla has a lot of debt. So it's definitely possible. It could really happen. Okay? And you think Elon Musk is going to send you a check because you were using options, you got leverage, and you got liquidated, and the price of the shares went below net asset value? No way in hell. No way in hell it's going to happen. Same thing here. No way in hell anybody is going to pay you for your liquidation if the price of the token went below the net asset value or backing price. Okay? Have nothing to do with loans. Absolutely nothing. Get that in your head. All right. So, what is Wonderland actually doing about this situation right now? Okay, so we've got Sifu, who's the guy who's managing the money at Wonderland, and he tweeted that it says it looks like we finally have the opportunity to test the buyback promise at Wonderland. Several millions once again have been used to buy below our backing price, the net asset value. When are they going to use the right terminology? I don't know. Returning the price to our intrinsic value. So they said they would buy back the token if the price of the token went below the net asset value or backing. What they did right there. And they said, as a reminder, unlike most other projects, Wonderland buys at the backing price. So the market price here, they buy here. They give you more money. Okay, when they buy back the tokens. Okay? And they spend millions to do that. Who else does that? Not a lot of people. Okay? Now, We've got Daniele here, okay, also saying, just so you know, we have been running backstop under the price of Treasury on liquidations. So they've been trying, okay, very hard, okay, to make sure that the liquidations are not done below that net asset value. Okay, so don't complain about this. Okay, they're doing what they can here. And to be honest, I don't even know why they bother doing this. They should just let the idiots get wrecked if they borrow too much. Okay, it's not fair. It's not fair for regular people that manage their assets better. And nowhere in the contract, okay, does it say the contract, you know, the smart contracts that run the protocols, nowhere in there does it say anything about net asset value. So they're doing you a favor here. Okay? So make sure you understand that. Now, here's a thing that I find absolutely ridiculous. I like to look at the comments here, and people just don't understand a freaking thing. See, the guy here says, you definitely encourage over leveraging by constantly replenishing the cauldrons on AVAX with MIM. System was already incredibly over leveraged, yet another replenish just took place a few hours ago. He says it's disgusting. You really think they want you to get over leveraged? No. What's happening? He says we didn't replenish our position. The positions that are liquidated are going back to the cauldron, and that's why right now it's $45 million worth of MIMs available to borrow, because a ton of people got liquidated, and that money just went back there, and now it's available for borrowing again. So that's what he's explaining right here. You think this guy understands the leverage system? You think this guy should borrow? No. That guy should stay away from this or learn how to use it. Read the documentation. See, like this guy says, I'm really not a pro, I know. He says, but isn't it always the liquidation that drive us into troubles? Isn't it the same for the whole crypto market when everything is going down and cascading, maybe in combination with whales selling? If it isn't borrowing a problem? Oh, wow. So some idiots don't know how to use borrowing, so we should ban borrowing. Let's close all the banks, so you cannot borrow when you want to buy a house. And let's not let's shut down all the lending facilities in the crypto world, because some idiots don't know what they're doing when they borrow. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, perfect. Oh my God. How about you learn how to borrow, and if you can't learn, well, don't do it. If you're not clever enough to learn how to borrow, well, stay away from borrowing facilities. Okay? Just keep buying Shiba Inu and enjoy. All right? See, like, and then this guy here. We need more than that, my friend. The team is making things too complicated for the Frog Nation. Why didn't we just stay with time and memo as main coins and wrap memo for leverage borrowing? We just needed better liquidity on time, and the coin is not dilutive and inflationary. Yeah. And then this guy's the best. I'm very confused about all this. Previously, I used Wonderland to stake and wrap my memo. Is this not an option for time anymore at all? Or is it staking and wrapping option only available on SushiSwap? For God's sake. Okay, what the hell does it say here? Stake time. Did they get rid of the stake time button? No, it's right there in front of my face. Oh, look, wrap. Oh my God, it's working. Ah. Did they get rid of the wrapping function on the Wonderland? Why can't that guy just go and check on the Wonderland website before opening his stupid mouth? It's right here. Okay? It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. Yeah, you can buy and sell wrap memo on Sushi Swap. It doesn't mean you wrap. It means you take, I don't know, USDT or God knows what token you've got in your wallet, okay? And you go to Sushi and you can buy directly your wrap memo without having to buy time, stake it, and then take your memo and then wrap it. So it saves you all those steps. You go from 0 to 100 in one single step. That's it. You buy, you take your token X that you have in your wallet and you buy wrap memo with it. Period. That's it. That's done. Don't need to come here, stake time, and then hit the wrap button, whatever. If that's too complicated for you to just buy a wrap memo on a Sushi, okay, well, stick to the O system. Okay? But open your eyes and look, it's still here. Didn't remove it yet. Okay? My God. All right. Now, what are they going to do about this? Well, they're going to move time away from the OM model because, well, it's a little bit broken. Okay? And so what they're going to focus on is turning the project into an investment fund. Okay? It's going to take a while because they need to reprogram some stuff. Okay, but I'm pretty sure we're going to make a lot more money with it. Okay. All right. So what's interesting here, okay, is that Wonderland has become the first successful SPAC. What's a SPAC? Well, Special Purpose Acquisition Company. So it's a company that invests in, that buys, that's what acquisition means, okay? It acquires, it buys other companies, other businesses in the crypto world, okay? Like it did with BetSwap. It's the largest token holder of BetSwap right now, okay? And they're going to help BetSwap start and get launched and hopefully, become very successful. Okay. Now, Wonderland is the very first SPAC or investment fund available in the crypto world right now. Okay. So again, it's new. It's risky. But there's a lot of smart people there that are putting their brains together to make this a success. So hopefully it's going to work. Again, there's no guarantee. It's crypto. Bad stuff happens. Okay? Remember that. Now, look at this. The treasury is intact and it's growing by $1 million a day in farming and investment revenue. That's what I'm saying when the project is successful, not the price. The price has nothing to do with whether or not it's successful. Okay? The price of Apple doesn't mean anything. Okay, if Apple has, very often you see Apple register record profits. They announce that. Today we have the highest profits we ever had in our history. And the price tanks. At the same day. Why? They were expecting more. I don't know why, but brokers were expecting more. Investors were expecting more. So even record profits, still not enough. All right? Now, these guys are making $1 million a day, okay, with their investments in farming and so on, okay? Now, consider the trade at treasury value. We must consider to turn off completely the dilution and move to a VE33 model. All right. The VE33 model, okay, is something that is being cooked up between the people at Wonderland and Andrew Cronier that I talked about before, the guy behind Phantom, behind Yearn, and many other stuff. Okay, Daniel A. and Andrew Cronier are partnering in this, okay, to develop that VE33 model. Okay, basically VE33 is the next generation of ohm forks. Okay, new and improved. Okay, and they're trying to eliminate all the pitfalls and all the problems that the original ohm fork, the original ohm model had. They're working very hard to fix that. So hopefully that's going to work. But again, no guarantee. I keep having to say this because people think, I don't know, okay, that, oh, finally, now they have the solution to all the problems in the world. I don't think they're going to fix climate change tomorrow either. So there's always a risk, there's always a risk, there's always a risk, okay, remember that, okay? But they are working to fix things. So hopefully it's going to be successful. All right. Now, for those that are interested in understanding what VE33 is, I'm not going to go through all the details of the articles, but I'm going to post the links in the description below, so for those that are interested in learning more about VE33. Okay. Now, what VE stands for is vested equity. And the 3-3 is still the same 3-3 that we have from game theory from Olympus down. So they're changing the model, and there's more from Andrew Cronier here explaining the system, because he likes to call it Ouroboros. Basically, it's like an infinite loop system. Okay. And there's this guy as well, which I find is super smart, Kamikaze Ethereum guy. I'm putting the links to that. He explains this in very interesting details. He says, this is new, okay, this is from yesterday. And he's explaining why did ohm fail and how does the V33 model provide a solution. In this thread, he explains everything. So I'm not going to go through that because our video is pretty long already. But I'm going to put the links in the description below. And I invite people to read through this to understand what's coming at Wonderland. Okay? So there's several links of information here. And we're going to put all that in there, in the description. All right? So that's it for this video. If you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Download the free book. It explains so many things that you people need to know. All right, so all you have to do is click the link and put your name, your email address. You hit the submit button and you get a big button that says download the free book. If you miss that button by any chance, we're going to send you an email that says download the free book. And if you don't want a free book, well, go to Amazon, pay $5.99 and give that to Jeff Bezos. He's going to send me $1 later. See you.